I don't know if hemp's going to save the world, but I'll tell you this, it's the only thing that can.
I saw Jack as a Michiganer, a crazy man. And particularly when it came to this whole idea that hemp was going to somehow revolutionize the world and revolutionize the marijuana reform movement.
I've met several people in my lifetime who I would judge as having such fiery intensity within them that approve of them or disapprove of them, you have to acknowledge that they are forces of nature.
A couple of years ago I read a book I think that a lot of us have read by now called The Emperor Wears No Clothes. The one thing in that book that I saw that could not be argued with was an article that came out in a 1938 edition of Popular Mechanics magazine, February edition, if anybody wants to go check it out, that said a new billion-dollar crop for the farmers. Most people that I talked to had no idea, just like me, that hemp and marijuana was the same thing.
Jack Herer is a social and philosophical tsunami, the ripples from whose splash will forever grace the shores of human consciousness in every freedom-loving nation. Jack recognized that cannabis is indeed a gateway to existentialism, which enlightens our existence and is the basis of our freedom of choice. He also recognized the miraculous powers of this herb for healing, and many sick and dying people have found comfort in its use after reading his wonderful manifesto, The Emperor Wears No Clothes.
They've outlawed the natural, and I say we've got to take it back by standing together.
He has been described as a cult folk hero, a boisterous rabble-rouser, a crazy man. His name is often mispronounced.
Jack Herer. Have I pronounced it correctly, Jack?
He likes to say it rhymes with terror.
Jack Herer.
Jack Herer.
Jack Herer. Jack Herer.
Mr. Jack Herer.
We're gonna put on Jack Herer.
Hemp. My name is Jack Herer. I'm co-founder of Help End Marijuana Prohibition. In 1973, Captain Ed Adair, who owned a countercultural store, Grateful Dead-like store in the San Fernando Valley, became my mentor. And we learned that from kids that would hang around there that marijuana was also known as a plant called hemp. And I thought, well, that was interesting. One night, Captain Ed and I stumbled upon an idea. Hemp was the #1 source of paper, fiber, fuel, food on Earth. Forget smoking it. That historically, all the paper, I never knew paper had been made from marijuana, been made from a plant called hemp. I never knew that virtually all clothing, all bed sheets, all homespun, that famous American homespun was all marijuana. 85, 90% wasn't wool, wasn't cotton, wasn't jute or sisal or flax. It was hemp, marijuana. And all this has been kept out of my education. I went to public school, high school, and into college. I was a major in history. And I had never known that marijuana had ever been used for anything, let alone 85% of everything, for the last 10,000 years, right up until this century. And you've got to be really mad at the government that's kept this information from you. Marijuana has some strange effects on people, but the worst of them that I know is you get the munchies.
The downside of marijuana is going to jail. And the other downside is a part to do with character of not standing up to get those people out of jail. Let our people go. Let our people grow.
You guys, listen, you guys have to be warriors for your own freedom. You can't depend on me or anybody else to win this freedom for you. This freedom comes from our willingness to put our act on the line and teach people all the comprehensive information that we've learned about hemp as fun, as paper, as fiber, as fuel.